Hello and welcome back, and today I want to talk about the brand new PlayStation Classic. Okay, so I know it's a little bit of a change of scene for this channel, given that I'm going to talk about the new PlayStation Classic mini console coming out in December. Don't get me wrong, it is technically nothing to do with NAS, but inversely, one of the most common requests a number of you give me out there with regards to NAS, and particularly NAS with HDMI, is emulation. And as so many of you are interested in MAME emulation, EPSXe emulation, and other forms of emulation, that there is no way that a large contingent of this audience is not going to be excited about that. That is the brand new PlayStation that's going to be released at the end of this year. It is a mini version, much like the SNES Mini and the NES Mini and all the rest of those re-releases. It's an emulated version of the PlayStation 1 console. It's going to arrive with 20 games on board, and bottom line, it is something to get excited about, because there are so many things that we've heard about it now that is enough to whet our appetite. But first and foremost, let's talk about the most interesting factor of all, the price. Because right now this device is going to arrive in the UK at about £89. It's going to be €99 and $99 in Europe and America respectively, and 9,980 yen. Now for those that aren't aware, that is a damn fine price, particularly when it arrives with 20 games. Now, a number of the games haven't been confirmed yet, but we do know it's going to arrive with Final Fantasy VII, it's going to arrive with Tekken 3, it's going to arrive with Heavy Arms, and other games too. Do check the link in the comments, which will be updating regularly with more games as they become available. On top of that, for that £89 or £99 or $99 or €99, you will receive in your retail package the PlayStation Classic console, 2 controllers that are not wireless, they are connected via a cable, an HDMI cable, because this device is HDMI enabled, we'll talk about that later, first time setup and instruction manual, and a USB A to C cable, and again we'll talk about those later on. But this device doesn't actually have the word mini in the name, but it damn well should, because the device measures significantly smaller than the original PlayStation 1. Around 45% apparently, with the device measuring in just the unit itself, not the controllers, at 14.9 centimeters in width, 10.5 centimeters in depth, and just 3.3 centimeters in height, and just 170 grams, which makes it hugely portable. Now, going back to that business of the HDMI and the USB port, the HDMI on this supports up to 720p. So I know a number of you out there are probably unhappy with that, but given that most PlayStation 1 games were never designed with 1080p in mind, there isn't going to be a huge surprise about this being only 720p. On top of that, there is a USB-C port on the rear, and this device does not arrive with a power connector to the wall. Apparently arrives with a standard USB-C to A cable, and you have to buy a wall plug separately. Now this could mean one of two things. One, this device may have a battery inside. I don't think it will. I wish it would, but I don't think it will. But it will require USB power, and maybe this device relies on the fact that most TVs having USB ports on them can supply enough charge. But on top of that, a USB wall charger is about £1. You can pick up at the pound store very easily. You won't have to exactly break the bank. Once again, for the more detailed perspective on the adapters you need, do check the article in the comments. Now, the PlayStation Mini or PlayStation Classic, depending on how you want to call it, does have another couple of cool features, because this isn't going to be using optical media. It only uses the 20 games inside. There's no mention of if the disc bay will support games. I don't think it will, to be honest, given that it's an emulated device, but that still makes you wonder what the buttons on the console are for. I'm pleased to tell you that the power button is obviously a power button, but the reset button will act as a means to suspend the game. Now, whether that means suspend the game totally or as a standby mode, we're not sure, but without an internal battery, I can't see that being the case. The open button's quite cool though. It will be used to change the virtual discs inside, because once again, this game arrives with those 20 games that would have arrived on 700 meg CDs inside. So again, that price tag, it may seem like very, very close to the number 100, but remember, you are getting 20 games with this, and some of those are AAA titles, particularly 2 controllers in Tekken 3 or Final Fantasy VII. That is crazy town. Now, The device itself, in terms of release, is going to be released on December the 3rd of this year, 2018. And again, why December 3rd? It's a special date. The PlayStation 1 was originally released on December 3rd, 1994 in Japan. So it's a key date for the PlayStation, and hence why they've picked that day. But that's pretty much everything we know right now. I mean, again, we've seen from the trailers and stuff, we've seen there's memory card slot, but no indication if that's going to be of any use, and I doubt it will. Maybe you can use your own memory cards. Unlikely. The controllers, they're not going to be DualShock controllers, because of course the original PlayStation featured standard analog no stick controllers. But apart from that, this is pretty much as good as you're going to get for PlayStation 1 emulation. Right now there's at least 10 emulators I can think of for PlayStation 1, and none of them have ever been smooth enough for me to point at and say brilliant. A lot of them have bugs, a lot of them have graphical inconsistencies or sound inconsistencies, and I think it's going to be really good to see how these games hold up against the original PlayStation 1 games. But when I get hold of one of these bad boys, I'm going to go through the whole thing with you on this channel, because I care about this enough, and you guys care enough about emulation and MAME and stuff like that, that you're going to want to know. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Do visit the NAS Compare article below. It tells you exactly where to pre-order worldwide, but moreover, will keep you more informed about this device, and I will maintain that page. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.